In today's video, we're going to be discussing some more NHL free agent signings as well as some free agent rumors. We have some confirmed reports over some players re-signing with their existing teams, as well as some speculation over where some of these other UFAs may sign on July the 1st. And that's coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams, so if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as we head into NHL free agency on July the 1st, there's all kinds of signings as well as speculation leading up to this. Obviously, a lot of guys are re-signing with their existing teams and avoiding free agency, and we have lots of speculation over where some of these UFAs are going to land on July the 1st. Ever since the NHL has introduced the free agent interviewing period, obviously we tend to get a lot of these speculation and rumors leading up to July the 1st where these players are going to sign, and then on July the 1st we just get a whole bunch of confirmations on a lot of the things that have been speculated here in the days leading up to the big free agent frenzy. Now before we jump into the rumors, I want to discuss some of the players that we have confirmed have re-signed with their existing teams. A few of these have been announced here over the last 24 hours or so, but we didn't get to in yesterday's video. So, for example, Pittsburgh Penguins have re-signed center Riley Sheahan to a one-year deal worth just over $2 million. Obviously, he didn't get a qualifying offer as he was an RFA. The Penguins continue to negotiate with Riley Sheahan and have kept him on for one more year. So we'll see how things go with the Penguins. Obviously, if he can improve his play, he may get an extension before the year's up. But due to his inconsistent play, he was only able to get a one-year contract. Now, we've also seen defenseman Kevin Connauton re-sign with the Arizona Coyotes on a 2-year deal. That deal is worth $1.375 million per year. Obviously, he was a pending UFA. As of a few days ago, it wasn't clear for sure if Kevin Connauton would be given a new contract here by the Coyotes or not, or if he'd have to test the open market. However, they've opted to keep Connauton in the fold here and sign him to a 2-year contract. Washington Capitals defenseman Michael Kempny has also signed a 4-year deal. Kempny's contract is worth $2.5 million per season. Now, after Kempny came over to the Capitals late last season, he did fit in pretty well and had a pretty solid playoff. I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest, that he got such a long-term deal with this much money. I'm not surprised that they re-signed him. I mean, we've already discussed here on the channel in the last few days that it was speculated that they were very interested in retaining his services. He fit well with the team and had an excellent run here in the playoffs. I didn't think he'd get 4 years and $2.5 million, but obviously the Capitals are quite pleased with his play, so they gave him the longer-term deal. I thought he might get 2 to 3 years with a little less money, maybe $1.5 to $2 million. Either way, obviously the Capitals are very comfortable with that, and they've kept him here in the fold. It was just announced here as well prior to recording of this video that the Florida Panthers have re-signed forward Frank Vatrano to a 1-year contract as well. That contract announcement was just made here prior to the recording of this video, so I don't have the annual amount that he's being paid, but Frank Vatrano has signed a 1-year contract to stay with the Florida Panthers. Now let's jump into some of the speculation here on some of these other UFAs, where they may end up. Now let's start here with the Detroit Red Wings. As we reported yesterday, it looks as though they're on the verge of signing veteran goaltender Jonathan Bernier to a contract with the Red Wings to be a goalie tandem here with Jimmy Howard. Now one question that did come up on the channel yesterday was, what about the goaltender Jared Coreau? I just wanted to inform everybody, in case you weren't aware, that he is a pending UFA here, and he has informed the Detroit Red Wings that he was not interested in staying with the organization, so they were not looking to retain Coreau because he made it clear to them that he didn't want to stay. So I'm not sure what Coreau's plans are, if he has offers elsewhere. Obviously, he's been primarily an American Hockey League goaltender. Maybe he's heading overseas, going to the KHL. I have no idea what the future holds for Jared Coreau, but he did inform the Red Wings that he was not interested in returning. So they had to go outside of the organization to find a suitable backup here for Jimmy Howard. And to be honest, I'm not sure that Coreau was really cut out to be that guy anyway. But obviously that wasn't even an option, seeing as how he didn't have a contract and wasn't interested in signing a new one with Detroit. Staying with the Detroit Red Wings here for a moment, it looks as though they are going to retain veteran defenseman Mike Green. Now, I'm not sure if Green just hasn't been getting the offers he expected here on the open market or not, but he has circled back to the Detroit Red Wings, and it is speculated that they're going to work out another contract for him to remain with the Red Wings organization. Looks as though it's probably going to be a 2-year deal from what I've understood. I'm not sure on the exact amount as of yet, but it looks as though Mike Green will be remaining with the Red Wings. In yesterday's video, we talked a lot about goaltenders. A lot of these guys are veterans looking for new teams to play for this coming season. One guy that we didn't touch on was Robin Lehner. Now, it was reported a few days ago that he had a meeting with the Detroit Red Wings and they were showing some interest, but it looks as though, I'm not sure if they were either A, more comfortable with going with Bernier, or with Lehner basically found a better deal deal elsewhere, and it's being speculated that Robin Lehner has been linked to the New York Islanders. Islanders really do need to find a goaltender here, and they need to do it in short order. So it looks as though Lehner might be that guy. Now, I don't have as much confirmation on that report as some of the other ones we've discussed here in the past few days. The Islanders have also been linked to possibly talking with the Ottawa Senators about bringing over goaltender Craig Anderson. So obviously, between Anderson and Lehner, one of the two likely does end up with the Islanders. I'm not really sure what the asking price would be from Ottawa. To be honest, considering his age and his contract, I don't think they'd have to give up a whole heck of a lot to bring Craig Anderson over from Ottawa. But it looks as though they're quite interested in signing Robin Lehner. Now, I don't know if he actually has an offer on the table that he can sign on July 1st, or if they're still negotiating, or what the deal is. Staying with goaltenders here for a moment, it looks as though the Boston Bruins are having concerns they may not be able to sign backup goaltender Anton Khudobin. Obviously, he's a pending UFA right now as well, and we have seen comments from General Manager Don Sweeney expressing some concerns that they may not be able to bring him back. Now, I'm not sure of the exact reasons why. Maybe he's asking for too much money. Maybe they don't want to give the term that he's looking for. I'm not sure the exact reasonings why they're having a difficult time coming to a contract extension. But at this point in time, it looks as though Anton Khudobin may not be back in Boston next year, which means they have some questions to answer to around who's going to back up Tuukka Rask next year. It looks as though the goaltending carousel here might continue, and some of these veteran guys may continue to jump around to different teams here, because a lot of guys, it looks like they're on the move. Jumping into a couple players here from the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, it looks as though Lucas Sbisa is on the open market. He's a UFA. It's been speculated that he likely wouldn't be returning to Vegas, but it has been confirmed that he is 100% not going back to Vegas, as he hasn't even been offered a contract by that team. So obviously, he's on the free agent market looking for work elsewhere, and Vegas didn't even make an attempt at re-signing him. Now, as we all know, they've had difficulty coming to terms with some of their forwards, notably James Neal, as well as David Perron and Ryan Reeves. Now, the only player out of the three that we have any speculation on as of right now is Ryan Reeves. It's been reported that he's been meeting with the New York Rangers, that they're showing a lot of interest, and that he might be able to get himself a long-term deal in New York, so therefore he very well might be leaving the Golden Knights. Hasn't been any other speculation as of right now as to the landing spots for David Perron or James Neal, or perhaps if they could circle back to Vegas. There really hasn't been a lot of news outside of the fact that they were having a difficult time coming to terms on new contracts with the Vegas Golden Knights. Outside of that, there hasn't been any speculation so far as to where they may go if they end up leaving, except for Ryan Reeves here. So it looks as though Reeves very well might be headed to the New York Rangers. Now, we mentioned yesterday that the Rangers are also looking at veteran forward Leo Komarov. So obviously they're looking to add some veteran forwards to play with their youth there that have some grit and physical play. So it looks as though those guys could potentially be good fits with the Rangers. So we'll see if any of this comes to be here on July the 1st, but so far that's the only speculation we have on Ryan Reeves, is that he may be able to get himself a long-term deal from the Rangers. Now let's jump over here to Patrick Maroon. Now, Maroon obviously been playing with the Edmonton Oilers for a few years, got traded to the Devils here at the trade deadline this past season. Actually looked like he fit pretty good with the New Jersey Devils, and they potentially may be bringing him back. The speculation has it right now that Patrick Maroon has been having discussions or offers from up to 5 or 6 teams, with New Jersey being included in that. The only other team I can confirm who's been expressing interest right now is the St. Louis Blues. Obviously, one attractive feature for Maroon with the Blues is that St. Louis is his hometown, so I'm sure he'd love an opportunity to play for his hometown team. But at the same time, he seemed to really enjoy himself in New Jersey. They had a lot of success, made the playoffs, and he was a good fit there. So those two teams seem to be the leading contenders right now to possibly sign Patrick Maroon here on July the 1st. Tobias Rieder, who was recently bought out by the LA Kings, obviously is looking for work elsewhere. Now, he's been linked to a couple of teams as well. One actually has been the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the second being the Montreal Canadiens. Now, with Tobias Rieder being linked to the Penguins, obviously the benefit there is that he is young and it wouldn't cost a lot to bring him in. With Tobias Rieder's level of experience and what he's previously been making here in the NHL, looks as though the Penguins and the Habs could both certainly afford him. Obviously, with Pittsburgh, they're tight to the salary cap, so they wouldn't be able to bring in anything too much without money going out, but Tobias Rieder is the type of player they could probably squeeze into their system here under the cap. After shipping out Connor Sherry the other day to Buffalo in order to make room for signing defenseman Jack Johnson, they may want to replace his spot on the forward group with a less expensive forward. So Rieder might be able to play a similar type role, kind of up and down your lineup, but primarily in your bottom 6. So hard to say if there's a fit there for sure, but it is being speculated that the Penguins have interest, as well as the Montreal Canadiens. So Tobias Rieder is at least getting some good looks here by other teams, so likely will sign somewhere on July 1. Now, one last note here we're going to discuss on free agency. It is quite possible, no guarantees of course, that we might have some updates on John Tavares later today. Obviously, as we all know, he's narrowed his field down to 6 teams 5 other teams plus the New York Islanders. It's been speculated but not confirmed that some of these teams, at least the ones that are not going to be in the mix or not be considered here, may be informed later today of his decision to not proceed with those teams. It's not necessarily expected that we'll find out where he's going to sign, but it is possibly expected that we may have some news as to some of these teams that might not be no longer in the mix here. So whenever we have some updates on John Tavares, I'll be likely doing a video to discuss that further. So stay tuned for some more news as the Tavares watch here continues as we lead into free agent frenzy here on July the 1st. Now, if you're new to the channel here, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams. There's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button as well. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time.